Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
And Christina
Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank
And Christina Carter.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick it.
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
Every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
Every
Show. It's
Tuesday.
during the week, homie. The Roy
Every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap
call
in.
before we gotta
Tap
talk.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
Every
Show. Come on
Tuesday.
and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
Every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big.
And Christina Carter, what it do? What it do? What it do? Once again, this is Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. My co-stars will be coming in, Big Hank, Christina from Long Beach. I'm out here in Long Beach. Christina Carter coming from Clarksdale, Mississippi. We coming live from the platform, The Woe Entertainment, which was created by my man Richie King and his beautiful wife Shelly. Richie King is also known as Redneck Pimp. That's his stand-up comedy. They coming from Cameron, Missouri, along with the co-creator Goose. Then we have our associate producer Blue Phoenix, who keeps everything running. She's such a warrior. She's coming from Springfield, Missouri, and Springfield and Cameron, Missouri is not close at all. You know, I think they about 4 hours apart. I don't even know. Only see each other through meetings and Zoom meetings and stuff. And so then we got our sponsor like Matthew Brooks, and then my man Athens, who is one of our other producers, associate producers. So, you know, we're everywhere. We're all over, you know. And we want to also give a shout out to the BB Nation, another major group that goes around as around the U.S., around the world, basically, because we have people like Julie who comes in from Australia and some of the homies from Germany. And then we was talking to a brother last week, Tuesday, just this Tuesday, this past Tuesday, John in West Virginia. And so, you know, if everyone knows is that our topic, no matter what the subject is, our point of view is this is a conversation. We pride ourselves that it's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. Sometimes I will say things that, you know, is my thought pattern, is something, you know, it does not reflect to what the Woe Entertainment or anybody who works with the Woe Entertainment is part of their actual beliefs as well or something. Sometimes I try to be the devil's advocate to throw up on something, because sometimes I could be ready to come like anybody else, especially when I'm built with emotions and stuff. And that's why this is part 2 of what is humanity, the difference between humanity and inhumane. These are 2 words that we have to need. I don't care where level of money you at. I don't care if you are a thug in the streets to richest person, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and them, to that, you know, We're talking about humanity. And humanity is everybody in this world. It's not about race. It's not about religion, sexual preferences. Because when you die, that's why in some of these, when cats die in these movies, you hear people say ashes to ashes and dust to dust. You can't take it with you. Some people who's in them, some demons got them believing that there is no afterlife. Like, this is it. I'm gonna live my heaven right now. I would hate to be, me. I would be so fearful to think that there is none and wake up and there is. I ran with the devil mainstream a lot. I would let the demons take over and stuff. And it always left me low. Not just in monetary situations. You can have a lot of money, but your spirit just ain't there. You depressed in the mind. You don't have no love for yourself. That's an awkward, hateful position to be in. As soon as I start being like, you know what, despite what other people think, because I'm not a cross-colored sock wearing where my pants is higher like Michael Jackson's playing the tambourine dancing in the church. That's just not my get down. When I feel like I'm a true soldier to to God, not saying that I'm supposed to inflict judgment on anyone. That's not my call. My call is to be the humanitarian that God asked me to be. One is I like make people laugh. Two, this is not where we do stand up. We laugh, we get mad, we get concerned. We just having a conversation. My spirit tells me I don't judge nobody. And I can't stand to hear people say, oh, don't be judging me. Judging you how? If I'm calling something what I see, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you what I see. I'm not judging you, because judgment means that I got something to say. Like a judge in courts, he can judge you and you got to go to jail, or you got to pay a restitution or be on probation. There's a consequence to a judgment. A person interviewing you is judging you, wondering if this is a person we want to hire or not. The supervisor or the boss at your job is judging you because he can decide that he wants to let you go. Those are judgments. Personal stuff, if I see you like, don't judge me. Judge you how? You laying up with 10 different dudes, or the dude you cheating on your wife with, all this and that. That's, bro, don't judge. Hey man, it's what I'm gonna judge you. That sounds like something God got to do. I'm too busy trying to be right with God myself than to be worried about you. I'm trying to take out this little toothpick out my eye, then be trying to take out the toothpick out your eye, but it may be way smaller than what I got. That's what it said. It might have a big old plank in my eye. I need to concentrate on myself. Because if I love God with my heart, soul, and mind with all my strength, then I love my neighbor as I love myself. I'm used to dress like this. I'm a Raiders fan. I come from the hoods. But I got woke up one day. I was on the road to Damascus in the light. Our show today is about humanity. Sometimes we have to start off where does humanity starts. I'm really concerned because every time I'm going to talk to my blacks, that we have been in the history. We always bring out about the history of being in America. That's why I got the flag in the background. We always talk about being the history of America. But I have a problem because even during the civil rights movement, the churches has always been the ones who can talk to the mass of blacks at one particular time on a weekly situation. The president of the U.S. talks to the country probably once or twice a year as far as addressing something. The pastors and stuff, ministers, talks to masses of people every week. Yet we have no infrastructure. I see guys trying to learn how to preach real good so they can move the crowd. My calling out, which I feel is inhumane, is when I've seen where somebody went to the church to help pay the bills, and they said, you know, we're gonna pray for you, brother, that the Lord give you increase at your job. Man, what? Wait a minute. Why is people like Creflo Dollar and TD Jackson, you know, I know that God's blessing you and stuff, and I see, but I don't see no infrastructures. I don't see no businesses. I don't care about no church being established since 1898. The world that got to do with me raising my kids. That's a picture. I went and visit. I was in Albany, Georgia. I went to visit. You know, I saw the Ray Charles Memorial. They got him like a little ravine around him. You know, life-size figure of him on the piano, and they play his music. Then I went around to where the civil rights movement was supposed to have started at this church, because they got these footsteps on the sidewalks. I tried to get into the museum, but it was locked. And what I saw though around was all areas that was rough. Blacks didn't even want to speak to each other because we ain't even trusting each other. But yet when we go to the churches, and the churches, I don't see no infrastructure, no companies. If you've been established since 1898 and all this, but this says in today's society and our census, y'all look at it yourself for the past 10 to 15 years. We have more black millionaires than in the history of the United States. From rappers, athletes, entertainment, and churches. And you're telling me that since this is nonprofit monies, that the churches can't open up like by, you know, a strip. And so here's a person who's like, hey, he's trying to change his life around, and he's trying to get work and stuff like that. And then here, I don't want to, well, bro, we're going to pray for you. I'm praying, bro. I don't need all that. I don't like people talking to me like they got an interstellar connection, a hotline straight to God and stuff. Like, hold up, man. Let me call God and get him on the hotline for you. Yeah, Lord, how you doing? I know you said hi, you look low, but brother here needs a job. Yeah, I wanted to pray to you before I jump in my Benz and drive to my mansion. That's that hypocrite stuff, man. Making people feel guilty. Little seniors, the church should have been establishing Social Security, more money for those who've been paying church. I don't want to hear no testimony. Yes, Sister Math has been here for 40 years paying tithes. When she retired 65, the church should be paying more money and helping her out more than Social Security. I'm tired of hearing that stuff about, man, you should come to my church and change. No, introduce the person to God. Ain't no church going to send him. That's a let's say you decide to go. Humanity should be, let me introduce you to someone who can conduct where your life goes at the end. Not come and make an appearance at a church if you're trying to change your life. God is not a man who can be mocked. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in the spirit and in the truth. God was not no pacifist person. He said, turn one cheek. He said, turn your cheek. You got two cheeks. The first cheek, they flip it. The way our black community acts is that we got 100,000 cheeks. But then we don't want to confront those ones. We can't want to blame the other race. They blankly just throw it in your face because guess why? In the black community, you separate us then. Oh, I couldn't go with my girlfriend at the time because I had a girlfriend, and when I was in high school, and she went to a different school. She went to an academy. I went to a public school. She was more kinkier than me, though, and all that. Always mischievous. They think it'd be on me, it'd be her. So one time I come over and her mother and them is fitting her with this little ballroom dress. So I was like, oh, I got my suit and stuff like that. And so she said, well, I'm going to the debutante ball. I said, the debutante ball? And she said, yes, it's a ball. I said, well, and she showed me the guys she had to go with. And I'm like, why I can't go? What's going on? Why you do? Of course I'm gonna get jealous. It's my girlfriend. And her mother said, she said, go on and tell him. And she left the room. And my girlfriend had to tell me that because of my parent. Because my real father is in Pelican Bay. They didn't know that, but they knew that wasn't my real father. My mother is working she's trying to go to school, so she's going to be an RN, but at this time she's just working minimum jobs while she's trying to go to school. My stepfather works and just was drunk, so I guess we're looked at the lower branch of blacks, where this ball was for those whose parents has got a successful marriage, and one's a school teacher and one's an engineer, and they whoop the whoop, and I'm like, wow. Who celebrated at the church? The church is supposed to be equal to everybody, but there's no infrastructure. I find it insanity if I'm gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and there's no different results. I ain't told nobody not to believe in God. That's what I'm asking you to do. Believe in God more than you believe in man. Find every man a lie and God the truth. If they ain't speaking, your spirit filled it, then there it is. We trying to pacify. People be trying to pacify. Call it for what it is. You don't have to be in a group of people and you feel awkward and you just trying to fit in. Recognize that you are a king or a queen. You got the power right there. It's just that some people don't choose it. That's why we have a difference of what's humanity and what's inhumane. I'm gonna bring it back up. I know every co-stars, they be coming in. I want to bring this back in. Humanity is an important part of life, which tells that to help others, try to understand others, and realize the people problems with our own eyes and try to help them. This was another one. It says humanity is the human race, which includes everyone on earth. It's also a word for the qualities that makes us human, such as the ability to love and have compassion, be creative, and not a robot. Now, let's look at inhumane. And I fell in this category. From the streetwise to anything, effective, callous, case hard, cold-blooded, compact, You know, you see the theories, you see it yourself. I can bring you up examples when as when I've been on my blacks because some takes advantage of the situations and the fears that we go through anyway. The target's on our back. A lot of neighbors don't understand when we talk about how the white police are somewhere, and nobody wants to believe it. But sometimes you may want to believe it once you see it for yourself. Okay, I want to bring up this. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to bring up this one particular this guy right here. No, first I want to bring this one. This is in Missouri. This is in Missouri itself. I want to bring this in. Now, as you can read, if you can see it, I'm going to read this to you. A Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper has pleaded guilty to 12 misdemeanor counts of falsifying information regarding traffic stops. Now, mind you, this is before he got caught now, but we ain't talking about the times of how many times he did it. He was sentenced to 2 years probation. The probable cause statement stated that Soroniski told another member of the Highway Patrol he had been counseled for stopping too many minorities when compared to the demographics of the area where he worked. The document says Zorniski falsified 10 reports between August 10, 2021 and December 18th. Now, that's almost 4 months. In 7 of those incidents, he stopped the black male and conducted a vehicle search, but reported no search was conducted. They're lying. In the other 3 instances, he stopped the black male, but listed the driver's race as white. He had to resign. When I tell people that sometimes to the rest of society, I have to think about my own. I think about America. I'm going to think about blacks in America. Now, I think about all the other races in America, but if I feel like if I don't speak up, and we only make up 13.5% of this population, if we make up 13.5% of the population, why is there so much focus on us? Latinos got a higher percentage. And I know a lot of my Latinos go through the same stuff. Asians got a nice percentage in there. They act like they don't do nothing. Oh my goodness, don't be fooled. I'm going to share this other piece of information I seen. Now, this happened in Baltimore. I want to show you this. This happened in Baltimore. I don't know if I added that other one to the screen. This show happened in Baltimore. Look at this. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me go to the right one. The Baltimore cop. Let me get this out the way. I want to show this. Okay. Granted immunity, former Baltimore police sergeant missed 2 decades worth of crimes. Now, 1 decade is 10 years. I mean, 10 years makes 1 decade. They got decades. That means almost probably 20, 30, 40 years. Now, this is the part that gets me. I want to read this. So people, okay, former Baltimore police sergeant Keith Glass admits to stealing all of that and more during his testimonies as a witness for the U.S. government in an ongoing trial against one of his previous subordinates. Now, this ain't about January 6th. This is about prosecutor accusing Hager of depriving people of their civil rights, helping to plant evidence and lying to a grand jury, all of which they said occurred while he was a member of the ceasefire squad commanded by Gladstone. I want to read down of some of the stuff that they was doing. A few years later, maybe in 2003, Gladstone, he started stealing money for himself. Gladstone testified that Hacker also stole money with Jenkins. These are the other these are other ones. Who was one of the guys who was over the corrupt. He was sentenced to in 2018 to 25 years in prison. Okay. Gladstone detailed the time he and two other officers decided to deliver 3 kilograms of cocaine they found inside a backpack in a police van to a confidential informant to sell on their behalf. Armed with a gun, Gladstone personally drove the officer to deliver drugs. This is what they add to this is the lawyer. So are you an armed cocaine trafficker? He said, I was. Each officer made $20,000. Once he got a suspect to trade an AR-15 rifle in exchange for being set free. He even got fireworks where they broke into. They planted BB guns. Man, I said to myself, I said, look, the odds. Now, we say, what's humanity? What's inhumane? Inhumane, Will Smith, slapping Chris Rock, that's inhumane. Inhumane is where we invite 100,000 Ukrainians to come to United States, where all of a sudden they all seem to be down here at the Mexican U.S. border and stuff. And I don't blame the governor of Texas. He said they're going to put them in charter buses and driving them straight over there to Washington, D.C. If anything, I applaud that governor, because the rules is if you're going to get an enter a country, you have to go through a diplomatic process. 2 wrongs don't make it right. But it's just like my house. If I don't invite you in and you come in my house without me inviting you in, which is like you trying to be a burglar or something, then I have every bit of right to do unto thee what you was about to do unto that. So it is what it is. It's inhumane for you to break into my house without coming and knocking at my door. It's inhumane when I see people walking up to somebody's house and blatantly stealing some boxes and stuff. And it's all racist. It's not a black and white. Thievery is thievery. Humane is to knock at the door. Humane is, instead of driving around trying to steal, is try to get you a job, because they got jobs left and right. Some people have made up in their mind they too cool or this and that to try to get them a job. So you rather go on somebody's porch who's working and steal their Amazon, you know what I'm saying? And then you want to do damage, but then you want sympathy when you call. And that's a coward part. Somebody was talking to me, and I tell you just like this. I used to say, you don't know the way the Bible has been interpreted and stuff like that, because the original language comes from over there in the Arab states and stuff, Judea and Bethlehem and all that. The Anglo-Saxon language, where when they went to war and got passages of the Holy Bible and did their interpretation. So Jesus, they call the word, where, you know, in the word we say Jesus will call him a hypocrite. So I used to say way this language in Anglo-Saxon is transferred, we don't know, I ain't trying to laugh, but we don't know if he was like saying oh, you come over dressed in your good clothing, you try to pray and act and put up a big scene, but you ain't nothing but a motherfucker. But I found out what it is that the word hypocrite from the Greek language is interpreted as someone who is hateful. Wait a minute, bring in my co-star. What's up with you, Big Hank? How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Roy. What's going on with you, baby?
Oh man, I was just holding it down, man, until one you come in and
I see, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Good to see you too. What's the subject?
Humanity Part 2.
Yes, sir.
I was just talking about how the word, when the Bible was first wrote, it was written over there in the Judea states. And the Europeans and stuff, the Greeks and all that, that's why they call Alexander the Great and stuff, went to war to get the words of God, because it's always been a battle for the ark and all that stuff. We've seen movies like Indiana Jones and stuff, right? Well, that's always been something. So the Europeans get it, and their language is considered as the Anglo-Saxon language. Takes these scripts and tries to interpret it. So where it says where Jesus will be talking to the Pharisees and Sadducees, that you come around dressed all with your wellness and you act like this, you put a big scene, and he would call them a hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
So I was just saying from my theory that language, it could have been he been calling them like you motherfuckers, right? But the Greek language, hypocrite, is deciphered as someone who play acts.
Right.
Jealous.
That
I said, well, that sounds like a two-faced player hater.
Yeah, acting other something than what you are. Yeah, that's what you are. You're an actor.
Exactly. Because I said earlier, I was talking earlier that one of the most inhumane things is that I can't stand seeing churches, mega churches, and I'm talking about to the blacks, churches, oh, we've established since 1898, and we don't have no businesses. So when brother can come out of prison or something, or someone needs a job, I don't want, hey, brother, we just gonna pray for you. God open up the door for you. Put me up at this factory that the church got. If we have been established, if the churches have been established in business just for over 30 years, because the white churches do. Big Hank works for the church. Am I lying?
No.
I said, do you work for the church?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not lying about you working for the church, right?
No, you're not lying.
Big Hank, not bringing up your personal business. Have you been where you had to go to jail and stuff before?
Yes, I have.
Did you have the odds against you where people say don't even hire him?
Yes.
But who was able to work with you?
The church.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, this is proof to anybody, and I'm not making this up. Now, just think. I don't want to gloat upon what no major pastor or nothing got. Inhumaneness is when you send your parishioners to come and say, hey, I can't pay my electricity bill. Well, we're going to pray for God to give you a release. Am I wrong?
Well, I got some church. So I got churches that'll help you out. They got I can't think of what it's called. But we got churches that'll help you out.
But I'm saying this. I'm not saying that they all. I'm just saying it's the one where why isn't that we established with more of an infrastructure businesses where cash will look, we make up 13.5% of this population. Do you know, Big Hank, in the past 10 to 15 years, blacks have had more millionaires and billionaires throughout the history of the United States?
Yes, yes, I'm aware of that.
Yet, we're still the lowest poverty race in the United States.
Right.
Now, When I was a kid, I remember when the Laotians was going through some dictator stuff, and they offered all these Laotians. Next thing you know, it seemed like they the ones who opens up all the swap meets and all that.
Mm-hmm.
When Malcolm X movie came out, everybody was trying to get their African heritage and all that. We went to the swap meet that owned by the Koreans. They knew more about Africa. Now we got 100,000 Ukrainians invited to America. All of a sudden, they done showed up down there at the southern border, at the Mexican-U.S. border.
Yeah.
Now the U.S. government is talking about giving them all cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
I love what the Texas governor said, because to me, it's inhumane to invite 100,000 people to where we just turned Honduras back, and Mexicans that is down there at the border has been trying to come in, but we're going to tell you, no, you get back. We bring him in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I love what the governor of Texas said. He said, I'm gonna put him on a bus and drive him to Washington, D.C. Because, okay, we are managing. I feel that you are a deep humanitarian, Big Hank. I really do.
Yes, sir.
Would you like people living on your sidewalk in front of your house in tents?
Come on, man. Stop it. No, work.
But
no.
you don't own that sidewalk.
Nope.
That's state domain, domain, right?
Oh, man. Yes, sir.
So if they say we're gonna allow these people and we giving them our free tents and everything, and they're gonna be sleeping on the sidewalks, which is the right of way, they're not on your property, sir, because your property line stops before the sidewalk starts. It ends at the sidewalk start. That's not your sidewalk, sir. That belongs to the city.
Right.
So different ones is gonna be sitting here.
Right. I think they could do better than that, man. I think, come on, man. Now, my thing is this, though. By them letting the people in over here, when we already got homeless and people that don't have nowhere to go, why we can't get them people out the way first? Get the homeless fixed. Let's fix this homeless problem right here that we got right here.
You answered this like that movie Ready Player One. You have answered the right question. You have asked the right question.
That would be me, man. That would be my thing, man.
Because you know why that'd be your thing? And I totally agree with it. You know why?
Why?
That's considered humanity.
Humane, yes, sir. Got you.
To take care of your house.
I got you, man.
Before you gonna try to take care of somebody else's.
And that's I think that's even in the Bible. I'm not sure, but I think it's in the Bible.
How my house is just as nasty, dishes ain't washed, bugs, you feel me? And I come over your house and I'm like, you gonna clean up this spot. After a while, you may take it to him and be like, hey, but you ain't never been to their spot.
Right.
Now, a month later, one day, you happen to go to their spot.
Oh, yeah.
You see how nasty he is. You're going to be upset.
Yeah.
How the hell you going to come to my house and talk this stuff when your house is built in them up? Because you're going to feel you had the right to say that to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you being inhumane, or are you being humane if you don't say nothing?
Right. Got you.
Are we being humane because we're feeling sympathy for 100,000 people, or are we being inhumane when we don't speak about the other ones who tried to come over here?
Yeah.
CO, that's what our producer just put in. They turned over 10,000 Haitians when they had an earthquake. People was like, hey, man, we don't have no water, no sewer. I'm going to go to where I can get a decent shower.
Right. And then they tell you no.
They tell you no.
Can't get no showers over here. That ain't right.
Going back.
Yeah, that ain't right, man. That's cold. That's cold.
It seems, but so I want to see how you saturated from the Mexican border.
Right.
What gets me is then we're like you said, all of you then hypocrites, because look here, people who complain about the border, some people ain't even lived around California Mexican border crying about the border.
Right.
Talking about Mexicans taking our jobs. Mexicans ain't taking your jobs. Employers are hiring them because they seem they're working a little bit better while you done got comfortable at your position. They get more work for half the pay. Which you feel me? How's he
Yeah.
taking your job?
Because he work harder than you.
You talking to the wrong person. Only the employer can only hire somebody.
Right.
And okay, look here. Richie just jumped in and he already got it. Is it humane to give billions of dollars to other countries and not our own people? Yeah, that's inhumane.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Let's call it out. This man had to go to 3 and 4 because we need to understand. And guess what? I'm gonna be honest, Big Hank.
I'm listening.
I don't want to hear black folks constantly pointing the fingers at the white folks. Yeah, they make the odds up against you, but we always prevail without the money that we got and the resources that we got. It's not supposed to get easier. It's supposed to get more challenging.
Mhm.
And the more challenging it gets, the more sophisticated and more endurance we come.
Right.
I like when Michelle Obama said, when they go high, when they go low, we go high.
We go high.
We've been like that. But guess what? I got to start off. What's the center of what in my black neighborhood? The churches covers more ground with the blacks. You a rapper. You got a good story to tell. But guess what? How many times do you perform? Once out of probably 4 or 5 months. A church talks to people once a week. I think it's a lie. I can't stand it. I think it's a lie that they keep when they tell the black preachers or ministers tell people, you know how to make God laugh is to tell him your plan. That's a lie from the gates of hell. First, God said people without a vision will perish. Second, God said, Jesus in John 14:14, whatever you ask in my name, I do it. As long as it's in righteousness. Mm-hmm. If you're not sitting there with some type of vision or a dream and you just a lump on, you feel me? Because this person don't have no ingenuity. Mm-hmm. Now, and this person is talking as if they got their own satellite connection to God, like they own the hotline. Let me get God on the line for you. Stop that. What man gives advice to God, who is the spirit, and they that worship him, the spirit and the truth? He's everywhere at the same time. We both in Long Beach, but we in 2 different destinations in Long Beach. God is in the same spot at the same time.
He see everything. He see everything. He the beginning and the end.
That's what I'm saying. Look here. The government, the churches, the church until they need to talk to the masses. Then they tell people, listen to the pastor. For real. Man, look here. Let me tell you something. I tell anybody, and I always give credit to, I like, Big Hank. Big Hank never once told me, hey, man, come to church. When me and Big Hank talked, it was always about God. I happen to, I've been off right by his house because I was going that way. I seen him working at the church. He said, come by the video, man. We shooting the video. I'm like, okay, what type of video you gonna do? It was Crips, Bloods, and came together. Everybody's saying Jesus is real. That's one thing we had in common.
Yes, sir. Yes,
White
sir.
folks could be in there. It wouldn't have made no difference. We in the Latino neighborhoods live over there. They didn't have no concern. Mm-hmm. They see Big Hank, they trust him.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So which one I'm gonna go with? Where I see the churches, and let me tell you something. I always felt that if God is with the church, everything around is gonna be beautiful. If you go over there to St. Luke's Holy Missionary Baptist Church, right there on west side of Long Beach, you can look it up. You go in that area, that's a beautiful neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
Sidewalks are clean. There ain't no trash on the streets.
Yes, sir.
people friendly.
Yes, sir.
Parking from the house, they ain't mad at you. They say, "Oh no, you go on and park there. You go to service." I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes. Pray for me too.
Yeah.
For real. Whole neighborhood. Look, I can't stand seeing one of them churches, nice church, and it just looks like a mess around there.
Mm-hmm.
Church has been longer than the government. It has. And I'm saying just like in black churches, why we don't have no infrastructure? You'll squeeze and making people feel scared if you don't pay tithe. I ain't never heard Dr. Williams one time preach about no building fund and we need to give more. I ain't never.
Oh.
He's the first dude who ever said to me, Pastor, I'm dipping on out, service over. Hey, Brother Roy. Man, I want to thank you for your tithes and offering.
Yes, sir.
Made me want to get this was after service.
Yes, sir.
He ain't asked me for a dime.
No.
And when I seen the works, despite me being as I am, I'm a heathen, we saved by grace. I'm not a tambourine player. I ain't seen a man at the church there play a tambourine when I'm there.
No.
Dancing around like crazy. We may say, hey. I like when Big Hank when the pastor be saying something, Big Hank gets up, he be like, say it, Doc.
Yeah, just get it. Let them know, man. Let them know the real, man. Yes,
Because it touched you.
Yes, sir.
And when you realize that, this is humanity to me. When you realize that something was said, that's your own self-conviction, and you realize that other people is feeling the same way, it makes you feel comfortable that it's not just you. And now you know that there's an escape. If Big Hank can escape, and brother here can escape, and Butch Davis can escape, then I can escape.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but George Osteen, bad pastor, white privilege. I said what I said. That's what, hey, they said that. Now I didn't say that. All we gotta do is if you be friends to your friends and you come around and you recognize that your neighbor is just as happy as you are, you may be doing a good thing in your neighborhood. And a Joy Osteen. You got $80,000 hidden in the walls in the bathroom. Just long as you be cool with your friends. Ain't brought up Jesus one time, man. I was talking to my wife, and we was laughing one day as we was leaving the elevator. And I was thinking about, what if I pressed all the numbers in wrong? Would I be inhumane? Hey, man, but you know what? We call it for what it is.
Yes, sir.
Guess what? It's an individual thing. Let me ask you a question, Big Hank. You think that paying tithes and not giving tithes or paying tithes is gonna get you to heaven?
I don't think it's gonna get you to heaven. I don't know if it's gonna get you to heaven, but I know that that one of the prophets said that God said that the people was robbing God, and they asked him, how was you robbing God? And he said, through tithes and offerings. So.
In Malachi.
Yes,
but
sir.
Wait a minute. It has been the person over the tithes and the offering. See, God didn't tell the person like he told Moses, tell the people. You feel me? It's the person talking directly with God. He said, how am I robbing you, God? Through tithes and offerings. It must be stored up so my people can have something to eat. That's the person in control. That sounds like some instructions to the person who is taking in all of this.
Okay.
Not you and I. When you work for a company, it's not your responsibility to pay the company's taxes or to talk how much for profitability that the company made. You're a worker. You got your own personal taxes to deal with.
And I got my own personal relationship with God.
Exactly. When I came to a realization, because I had listened to other people, I pay the tithe before I pay my electricity bill. Have faith, baby. Have faith. Well, you know what? I have faith that God wasn't tripping on me about my tithes. He told me to render unto Caesar that has his image. His image is on this electricity bill.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pay Caesar, get him out the way.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got something, so that's an offering. I'm going to give you my offering. My tithes, Lord, because when in the Bible, when they had tithes, they was talking about harvesting. You done grew some stuff. What it takes? Does it grow overnight, or do you got to wait 3 or 4 months?
Gotta wait till you get it.
My man said, God, what'd you say, Big Hank?
So you gotta wait till you get it. You gotta wait till you get it. You gotta wait
And
till
some
it come
time,
up.
right?
You gotta wait till it come up. Yes, sir.
Said God don't need anything; He owns everything.
So
But,
don't.
but we got to get an understanding. And that book, Malachi, what you just said, and that's the 3rd chapter of Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
We so worried about money. Anytime you bring up, what does Malachi mean? What you just said, Hank, will a man rob God? How am I robbing you, God? Through tithes and offering. Habit, where that's a person's in control. Habits to build up the storefront. That sounds like the person managing it. Not buying yourself on jets and golden toilets and all that stuff. What's the point of having that if the people don't have nothing to eat?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The basic instructions before leaving Earth. If anybody want to know where I got that, those are abbreviations. That's why they call it the Bible.
Right.
Basic instructions. They telling you what to do.
Yes, sir.
Some people want to saturate the Old Testament with the New, but they don't understand that new means grace. You don't have a sheep or a lamb that you can sacrifice that was good to God.
And new is always better. New is always better. New is always better.
And so what's humanity? Republicans, you and I don't know what your political Big Hank. I know that I'm a free American. I'm not a Republican.
That's what I am. That's what I am. Right?
Yes, sir. Well, I've been defining it. Republicans believe this or not before we put the picture of what we've seen lately. Republicans is supposed to be known to believe that God should be part of politics, where the Democrats believe that God should be a personal thing, that this should be socialized. You feel me? Where now these people are calling it, when it's bringing up to letting some whites know if you racist or not, they're calling it wokeism.
Calling what?
Wokeism.
Wokeism.
Saying you're woke. Can you believe that Matthew Gaetz, the senator down there in Florida, had the nerve to drill the brother who's Secretary of Defense? And I'm like, who are you to ask anybody when you still facing a case of taking a 16-year-old into another state, you trafficker? He said, rednecks, I offer the great spirit things I own, like tobacco, or part of my hunt for thanks and prosperity. To each his own.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't even believe, but see, I'm gonna tell you, I was talking about Republicans. Republicans believe that God is supposed to be in politics. I didn't see no God situations going on with a man talking about just grabbing by the pussy. Yeah, that sounds real saintly to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, well, look, they cut taxes and everything. Are we worried about monetary situations, or are we worried about social rightness with God? But guess what? People do what you do. I'm not no one's judge because I don't have a penalty to give you.
Right, and I ain't got no hell or heaven to put you in. I can't do it.
Hey, Pac said that only God can judge you.
Right, I can't do it.
I feel so good the more we do this and talk out, because we talk when we let the world know. God said, if you're ashamed of me, I'm going to be ashamed of you.
That's right. That's what he said.
Didn't he say that? But if we're honest, look, we tell the whole wide world how we feel.
Without a doubt. Yes, sir.
And please believe me, man. Let me tell you something. The devil comes at, oh, my God.
Yeah, he does.
And he always attacks me through personal ones that I have to eventually just kind of exonerate, because like we said, you gonna let that demon take over you?
That's what you got to see. That all you got to do is watch him, because he gonna put his head gonna pop up. You'll be like, oh, there you go, over there, you
Exactly.
go. There you
And
go.
guess what? But some of the people who letting them demons rise,
Yeah,
don't have the power to try to recognize the demon. The Holy Spirit will let you know
sure
what's
will.
wrong and right.
You sure will.
A lot of people want to understand, look here, just because I grew up in the streets, from the streets, Big Hank, same way, we believe in God.
Yes, sir.
Now, no matter what I look like with you humans, I know what our ramifications with God. He told me when I stand praying to forgive others so that he can forgive me, and then he'll give me anything that I want. And guess what? He is not a man to lie. He has been giving me and Hank. We've been enjoying ourselves. If you know
Blessings. Blessings.
blessings upon blessings. Do the
Blessings.
devil flare up? Yes. But we recognize him in the power of the spirit, right? Now, I'm going to tell anybody before we get off of here, I'm going to testify.
Yeah.
That please, everyone, try to get a relationship with God.
Yes.
I can't stand to find you a good church home. No, get a relationship with God. He will lead you to a good church
He
home.
get you right, man. If you don't preach right now, Pastor Pastor Roy, go on to preach, Pastor Roy.
The spirit was going through, no matter who wants to listen or not.
Yes, sir.
Stop worrying about what society. This platform was made for our veterans that be committing suicide. Look here, man. I'm gonna be real with you. There's no way of getting forgiveness when you take. I'm just being honest. I'm just hoping that God understands. I don't know how he measures that. I'm just saying like this. Instead of you saying, he said later, Roy, I'm getting to a point, but Richie had to leave. Later, Roy, later, Big Hank.
Peace out, Richie King.
Yeah. Donna Dega Hoya is a native language meaning I see until I see you again. Okay. We so busy trying to build up the church and seeing who would bring so you can get honored and stuff like, so the people stand up in church. Oh, who brought you? Oh, yes, I brought them. I bring people all the time. No, let's talk about a relationship with God. He doesn't measure you on how you look or how you act or nothing like that. He is a spirit. He doesn't care about your sexuality because he is all sexualities. He said, let's make man in our image.
And he made a
man and he made a woman.
Man and a lady, yes, sir.
Yes. He said, so they can produce. Humans are the only ones who recognizes that a man likes another man because it don't happen in none of the species.
That was
a male gets with a female so they can have offsprings.
That was a good one, man. I never looked at that before, man.
I'm just being real.
Yeah, real.
Yeah. He doesn't measure you up for wearing Raiders hat and the way I stand, the way I talk. He measures you from the measure of your heart. He doesn't measure you from your thoughts. Jesus said, what a man thinketh, so is he. But God measures you from your heart. I used to question, God, why is it this and that and this and that? Now I start wondering, should I question? God wants you. I used to hold scriptures towards God. I used to say, Lord, you said in your word. And then I'm like, who am I to say? But he wants that because now he knows I'm in your head.
And you know the word. That's exactly. You know the word.
And since I know the word, then I'll be a fool. Ignorance is bliss because I didn't know. But his words became life to me when I was homeless, banged upon, or down on Skid Row and stuff. In the jail cells where the police is jumping on me. I don't have no one to tell, taking it. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
And look here, what don't kill me made me stronger.
That's what you do.
Then I got to a point I'm not fearing what man can do. Someone's probably lurking out there to bang on him. So I gotta worry about what happens after this. Mm-hmm. Your pastor is not going to get you in the church. He can just give you a point direction. You got to do that.
Some instructions, yes, sir.
You can't go in front of God. He's not measuring you. He measures you off your heart. You may have thoughts and stuff, but follow your heart. Because let me say this. Believing in Christ and God is the only religion that has an effect to you if you concentrate Out of all the religions, I give them 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes, you can concentrate on Buddhism and everything. See what happens.
Hmm.
You're like, oh, okay, I'm tired. I mean, just Muslims, I sit down and pray, right? They do. Guess what happens? But let you sit down for 10 to 15 minutes and just praying God no matter where. A feeling comes up in you. One, you feel remorse for some stuff that you know you shouldn't have done or you did. Second, you feel like you need to make right with somebody. Forgive, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. See, we so busy worrying about what the crowd is going to do. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'd rather get with that crowd where that I'm scarcely making in crowd, do the straight and narrow crowd.
Yeah, that one.
I barely make it in.
Yeah.
Lord said, Roy, I'm gonna be honest with you, we're letting you in, but half your butt cheeks is not with you. That's how scarce you.
Hey, when the gate was closing, it scraped your back. When it was closing down, it scraped you in the back. You're like, man, I barely made it.
I will always have that internal look where oh, look, there's a guy right there. He was the last one in heaven.
That was the last one that made it.
Well, how you know? Wait till he walked past us, looked at the backside. Oh, it looked like his butt cheeks are scraped.
Got these scraped his butt. He was the last one. That's how you know you barely made it.
Everybody else's robe covers over their whole butt cheeks. My robe shows just. That's why he says
everybody else got them crowns. You looked over there, you got a little bitty hat. What? How your little hat?
Hey, I'm not gonna complain.
No, because you up in there. Me too.
I told him I'd be the one holding toilet paper in the bathroom.
I was the one pulling you through when you barely made it. I was like, come on, Roy, get in, man.
I was like, man, spirit.
We was way in the back. We was way in the back, man. I'm way in the back.
Wait, man, look here. But look here. I always say, I'll be like, hope we have a chance.
Yeah. And then look. And look, we right at the gate. We seen all them niggas that didn't make it. Like, damn, that nigga didn't make it.
You can tell they make it because they said the angel's gonna take him to the thing that throw him to hell. I'm like, oh snap! I thought he was going to heaven.
Thought he was gonna make it, man. I just knew he was gonna make
it. When I see the ones that was supposed to be, I'll be like, oh snap. So he said, Roy, or Big Hank. I'm gonna say it like you because I don't want to do much. Big Hank, we seen, and this is you, and you got right, and you forgave, and you start working for us. We seen you on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
And we seen you speak to the world.
Yes,
and
sir.
You let the world remember me. So well done.
Sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So does that mean Roy? Maybe you like, well, we're gonna have to talk to Roy for a minute. Roy, we know what you did, but we're gonna have you stand here for a second.
And if number 700,998 don't make it up here, then you get to go in.
Wait a minute, look, like Lord, they be like, oh, send me over there. We're like, no, we're gonna find it. All of a sudden, I hear that they started messing with the key and stuff. Like, hold up, Peter. Hold up. So they letting you in. You need to hurry up, get in there, Roy. Hurry up in the door. I'm in here though.
Like they go Roy over there, y'all. They go Roy. Look, he made it, man.
With the brand, ask him because it's real, man.
Yes, sir, man.
It's real. I hate to be foolish. I wouldn't want to be foolish and think it wasn't real.
Please,
die,
man. Come on, man. Don't go that route. Don't go that route.
He said it's gonna be a lot of crying and gnashing of teeth. That means you in misery and pain. Like, how did I let this happen to me?
Woo!
Hey man, I think he made to pick this up.
And that ain't just for no one day. That's forever, forever, man.
Hey,
because you're gonna be listen. We gonna live forever somewhere.
Hey, look here. You know it's real when Jesus raised from the dead and was cooking fish at the beach and stuff. Then Thomas said, yeah, y'all lying. You ain't come. and he came through the door because it don't mean nothing. He said, "Now
Right.
shake your hands." He
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God. Well, I just seen you come through the door because this is beyond your understanding."
Yeah, you can't figure this out. This ain't what this ain't. Yeah, you can't figure this out.
Ooh.
Yeah, he
So
told old girl. He told old girl when remember he was at the right by the when he first got out. He said she was getting ready to touch me. God, is that you? He said, "Oh yeah, but don't touch me right now because I can't. You can't.
You're not
you
ready
can't
for
touch.
this.
Yeah, you can't touch this yet. Yeah, this ain't what
She
you
might
want."
have. She might. Jesus went to touch her and said, "I told you." He said, "Don't touch me yet." Why I can't touch me? Now she touched. Wait a minute. But hey, bro, we may have to pick this back up Thursday.
No problem.
Next Tuesday.
Let's go,
this
man.
is something that just has to.
Let's go.
Hey, man, God bless you, man. Was
God
you about to
bless
say
you,
something else, bro?
No.
Hey, I want to let you know, man. I looked through that. Your laughter is strong. Your laughter is stronger than mine.
I love. Look, man. Your comedy is crazy, man. You out there, dude. You something different, man. I love you, man.
We got a lot of stuff, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. Y'all pray for me and Big Hank. And as we pray for y'all, I'm Roy Anthony.
I'm Big Hank. We out.
We out, man. God bless y'all. Whoa Entertainment.
God bless y'all.
See you later.
Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in. Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony